Saturday racing at Santa Anita this weekend, January the 18th. Actually have a big week of racing at Santa Anita. They raced Thursday. They'll race Friday as I'm recording this Friday morning. Saturday, January 18th, they'll race Sunday, and then holiday Monday racing. And then next week, Santa Anita will race Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm going to make up for some of the days lost with the terrible tragedy, all the fires here in Southern California. Hope any of you out there are safe and sound by now. So many people have lost everything. If you have the opportunity to donate, whether it's money, goods, anything that you have extra that you can help out with, remember, folks, people have lost everything from top to bottom. And seeing the response and all the donations and people that have been supporting, volunteering their time, coming out, bringing anything that they had to give made me feel really, really good. It was nice to see so many people trying to come out and help the people who have had just such terrible things happening to them over the last few weeks with these fires in Southern California. So Santa Anita was able to race on Thursday. So racing back this week. Let's see if we can make some money on Saturday. This is the race day that was brought back from last week. So this was supposed to be Saturday racing last week. Remember, there are always past performances, Clocker Reports, and DRF picks at shop.drf.com every racing day at Santa Anita. There's also a big tournament called the Santa Anita Challenge at XpressBet on Saturday. It's a $500 entry. You could win Pegasus World Cup Betting Championship seats and NHC seats in that. So let's dive into Santa Anita for Saturday. A lot of these races were similar and races that were returned from last week. One of them was in race number 6, where I actually think a couple horses are going to take money that might be a little vulnerable. Our Bucky Charm is a really nice horse, but he has not raced since May. Could be the spot to try to take a little chance against our Bucky Charm. You have a horse like Lonesome Stew, who has some really big buyer speed figures recently. I think he's going to get overbet, though, off of those. The horse who I like in here is the number 6, Bob's Blue Moon. He just has really nice foundation. He has 10 career starts. He's a 4-time winner. He's been good on every surface, dirt, synthetic, and on the turf. His last 2 races were on the dirt, and those were the 2 that I wanted to kind of focus in on, because November the 4th at Pleasanton loses to a horse named Clovis Connection. We're actually going to see earlier on the card at Santa Anita, Clovis Connection is in the Cal Cup Sprint, which is race number 4. This is a sharp horse who's an 11-time winner and a really, really nice Calbred. So when you have a loss to Clovis Connection, no shame in losing in that spot. And then most recently lost to another really sharp horse, and Grubauer. Grubauer has won 3 in a row and hasn't done much wrong. What I also like seeing is that Grubauer came down to Santa Anita and won on January the 5th. So I just like the recent form for Bob's Blue Moon. I think with a couple other horses like the lightly raced 5, our Bucky Charm, or maybe like the 7 who's coming off of some big efforts, just have a really solid horse with foundation, might be a little bit better than those speed figures would suggest, has some speed, can sit off and pass horses though. 3rd start of the form cycle. Give me the 6, Bob's Blue Moon, 6-1 on the morning line. Moving to race number 7. This one is the Sunshine Filly and Mare Turf Sprint, going 6.5 down the hill. Gosh, I didn't think there was that much early speed in this race, because you have Barbera and then not a bunch of other fast horses. I just don't know if Barbera is the quality to win a race like this. I'm going to use Satellite Heart because I like the cutback from the mile to 6.5. Pratt is aboard, and this horse has some natural tactical speed. So using that, cutting back, could be really fit here. I like the 4, Satellite Heart. The 7 is the one to beat, Stay and Scam. Now, she hasn't been showing as much speed recently because she's coming out of some really fast early races, but I wouldn't be shocked to see her very close to the front end in this particular race, sitting 2nd or 3rd from the outside. Safa is also a nice horse with a high ceiling. she had been a horse who didn't like winning. She hadn't been really putting wins together, lots of seconds and minor awards. But now you look at the form, she actually won 3 of her last 7 races after that string of seconds. So she's figuring out now where the wire is, and she's learning as she's, improving and getting a little bit older now, a 4-year-old. So I'm going to go 4, 7, 8. It's kind of my top selections. The 7 and the 8 are obviously going to take the 7 and the 8 are going to take a bunch of money. The 4 is kind of the value play in here for me. If you want to go a little deeper or you're looking for others to include, the 2 comes off of a good win last time out. I'm a little worried that she's just too far back in this spot. And the 1 might be the horse to catch. I just don't know how good she is. But maybe a nice underneath horse in exactas, tries, supers, stuff like that. It's Barbera. Moving along to race number 8. Calbred maiden 50 claimers going 6 furlongs. I thought the 6 was interesting here. Western Freedom. First of all, Brian Corner is fantastic with first-time starters. This is what he does really, really well. When you look at how he has succeeded with first-time starters over the last 5 years, 16 for 87, 18% winning percentage, and a $2.44 ROI. It's just great. 39% in the money. The last first-time starter he had was a winner. 5-1. Had a 17-1 winner earlier in the year. Western Freedom. So the barn, good with first-time starters. That's a positive. Now you look at the work tab. Solid. And you look at the pedigree. Western Kitty has 4 siblings that have raced. 2 of them are winners. 1 of them won the debut and was 3rd in the Saratoga Special. Hall. What in blazes is Calbred Stakes placed. The 6 is going to be in the mix for me. The 3 is probably the horse to beat, but just not fast early. And that's scary going 6 furlongs. He'll get Lasix for the first time. The 2, first time gelding, first time Lasix. Just feel like this horse is better than what we've seen. Was favored last time out. Took a ton of money in a race that has come back live since. We've seen the 1st and 3rd place finisher come back to win their next start. So exiting a live race is the 2. The 4, Jenny's Tiz. Her dam won the debut. 3 Sibs are all multiple winners. The 5, Citizen Barrett, kind of loomed up to 2nd at the top of the lane, but he was wide, so he ends up fading there. And then you have the 8, Packs a Punch. These are horses who will all be kind of in the mix for me. But I'm going to start with the 6. The first-time starter. I went 6, 3, 2, 5, 4, and 8, if you wanted to go a little bit deeper. Western Freedom, the play in race number 8. Moving to the 9th. This one is the Unusual Heat Turf Classic. Mile and 8th on the turf course. I like the 2 in here, None Above the Law. This is a horse who was a grade 2 winner going a mile and an 1/8. Won the Del Mar Derby back in 2021. And you see, he's a deep closer, so he's not all that consistent. Like, he's not a win machine. You don't see a bunch of wins recently. The last 2 years, he's only won once. But look at some of the spots that he's been in. I think they're kind of head-scratching. So he went a mile and a half last time out. That was too far. He actually loomed up to 2nd, the top of the lane, before fading. He moved all the way up the challenge. He just was going too far. 2 starts back. He's going 7 furlongs on the dirt. That's not really a trip for him. 3 starts back, though, going 6.5 on the turf. A really good 3rd. He runs in the Pacific Classic, going 1.25 miles on the dirt. That's not really his game. But the California Dreamin', he's only beat 1 3/4 lengths there. That's a really good effort. You could just pick out some of the spots that fit and that make more sense for him. Like in the Crystal Water, there was no speed to chase. Kings River Knight was a heavy favorite in there. But this race, I think, could set up much, much better when you look at the possibilities with the 4, Jimmy Blue Jeans. He wants to go very, very quick. I think will be forwardly placed, wants to sit. But the real key to the race is Fast Buck. This horse is a legitimate sprinter with speed. So he will be setting a very honest pace, and I think setting up some fractions for horses to close into. Takes 3 is another one who could push the pace a little bit in here. So I'm expecting them to be having an honest pace, to be going pretty quickly up front, and that's going to bring the number 2, None Above the Law, into the mix. Excuse a couple of the last, give this horse a chance back at the 1 1/8 to try to mow them all down. So I ended up putting the 2 on top. The 3, Old Pal, will also come closing. The 7, Alligato, will also come closing. And then you have the speed horses like the 6, Fast Buck, who might be the speed of the speed. The 9 Takes 3. I end up using 2, 3, and 7 as my top tier. Then horses that I might use on deeper tickets or underneath, the 6 and the 9. Let's move to race number 10. So 5 of these exit the King Glorious. And the one that I like the most is the 6, Art Heisman. So in that December 15th race, when he finished behind Shea Brennan and I'm a Bad Boy, he settled 6th. He was about 3 lengths off. He was in the 2 path. He was in between. He moved up to just behind the leaders, but he had nowhere to go. He got squeezed back out of a tight spot all the way back to like 8th. He tips out 2 from the outside. He's in like the 6th path. He gets a little bit tired late, but he's still trying. And if you eliminate the grass race and you eliminate the grade 1, now look at his overall body of work. 6 in the money finishes, and some reason to believe he can turn the tables on the rivals he faced last time out. I like R. Heisman. Put the 6 on top of the 3, Style Cat, who I think will be showing some speed, stretching out. Got the 7, Drop 'em. It's a total wild card, who actually crossed the wire first but was DQ'd last time out. So he's never not, he's crossed the wire first in all 3 races. I was going to say, he's never not crossed the wire first, but probably a more eloquent way you can say that one, Gino. Then towards the inside, the 1 and the 2 are both logical. I just like others more at what'll be better prices. Let's finish up Saturday at Santa Anita. Don't forget about the Santa Anita Saturday Pick'em contest, free to enter, pick'em.santanita.com. And also, don't forget about the Coast to Coast Pick 5 wagers that you can play from Santa Anita and Gulfstream Park, connecting those 2 tracks. Race 11, I'm going to go to the 2, Tequila and Therapy. So we go through her last 4 races. They're all really good. She breaks her maiden on August the 30th, the first time she stretches out to a mile on the turf. Wins. Then they step her up into a graded stakes race. She faces a pretty nice horse in there named Thought Process. Thought Process was only 9-2 in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies turf. She was one of the top contenders in there after winning 3 in a row. Cassaloo, who finished second in that race, since the runner-up effort in the Surfer Girl, Cassaloo has finished second in the Grade 3 Jimmy Durante and won the Blue Norther. Horse who's in really nice form. So no shame in finishing behind those 2 horses who are both graded stakes caliber horses, a stakes winner and a graded stakes winner. Then November the 1st, 7 furlongs at Del Mar, wins a race on the dirt, comes back on December the 8th, again on the dirt, and just moves a little bit too early. That was honestly it. It was a good effort, but was wide and moved early. Gets back to the turf in here. I like the number 2, Tequila and Therapy. I'm going to use along with the 6, Take Another Card. This is a horse whose dam, I believe, was a horse who didn't win on the grass, but was always right there, was great at stakes placed. And then pedigree-wise, the one that I was going to, the In the Air Tonight was the one I'm going to show you in a second. So Take Another Card makes sense. It was a good effort in the debut. Me So Fancy also was a nice winner against Calabreds in career start number 2. Grateful My Love and Hey Jesse, both logical players. Hey Jesse's in very nice form right now for McCarthy. But In the Air Tonight, the Dam was a 3-time winner, and there is a little turf in the pedigree. So I'm going to go 2, Tequila and Therapy. I'll make a win wager on this horse if we can get anything around 4-1. Then the 6, along with 10, Hey Jesse. And then you want to go a little deeper, the 12, In the Air Tonight. Maybe 9 and 8. Fun way to close it out. I'll put Tequila and Therapy on top using the 6 and 10 as other major players. However you're playing them on Saturday at Santa Anita, wish you the best of luck. Don't forget, shop.drf.com for everything you need when you're playing the races at Santa Anita. Good luck. Hope you crush it this weekend.